ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण। Reading from I Will Build You a Temple, the Jogu story by Giriraj Swami. Today is Ekadashi day. Therefore, reading from this book generally being done in Juhu. This is a Juhu story, how Juhu was built. Now I am continuing which was left in the last Ekadashi day. This is October 1976 to October 1970 to 73. 1. Arriving on the scene, a good fight. This is the thing we are going to read now. This is page number 91. One day in early May, Mr. Nair came in his car to take me to meet our solicitor K.M. Divanji. He was in the back seat on the right. I ended up in the middle, and he had arranged for a woman to sit next to me on the left. I did not really want to sit next to a woman, but I was so intimidated by the whole situation. I was new, and Nair was a big man in Bombay, as well as the owner of the land, that I just went along with it. Soon after I got in, however, the woman put her hand on my leg, then my upper leg, making her way higher. I did not know what was going on, but I was 24 years old, and my mind and senses were in a dizzy. I thought I might just give in, but then I considered that what news of the incident got out, our position as a movement would be weakened, and Srila Prabhupada's mission would be compromised. I thought, I cannot hurt Srila Prabhupada like this. So, even though for myself I was ready to throw caution on the wind, for the sake of Srila Prabhupada, I could not. Then I realized how powerful Prabhupada's mercy was, that I actually loved him more than I loved myself, because I was ready to do something that would hurt me personally, but wasn't prepared to do something that would hurt him. Srila Prabhupada invested so much trust and love in us, his young disciples, and gave us so much responsibility that we wanted to rise on the occasion and not disappoint him. Later I found out that a woman was a well-known prostitute in Juhu, and therefore I was careful to stay away from her, though she sometimes came to the Juhu land looking for me. Hare Krishna. Just this is a reading, and this is by Giriraj Maharaj, who was almost like very beginning days. he started construction, acquiring land, everything. And it's a great task he underwent. And most of us might have read from Leela the same portion. Here Maharaj has given in more details of his personal realization. Therefore, first of all, I want to take the blessings of all these great souls who had put their energy to get this temple to come up. And also, they had spent sufficient trouble, got into trouble also to get it out. What we are enjoying is the result of their effort. Like starting from Prabhupada, all these great souls, they underwent all type of sorrows, all sorts of troubles, both physical fights and this is a simple incident. He was tried to be victim of a violation of sense gratification. Therefore, this was a trick all the common material people uses to take us out of Krishna consciousness. And certainly, Maharaj has mentioned, because I was so intimidated by the whole situation. Because he just got confusion. Suddenly got into the car, right side Nair is sitting, middle Maharaj, left side one lady, back seats. And he could not think much and get into action. And the situation is so much, he got into the things intimidated. That means he is confused and he is unable to take act and a little fearful and a little nervous. And he is telling he is 24 years old that time. This was the cause, and Maharaj was brahmachari that time. Still, he was so dizzy. Dizzy means he was little, balance is lost, mind balance. Anybody, it's very rare to find, get out of such a situation. Even big rishis and other things are becoming victim. Everyone should be careful about this situation. Because when we devotees take all material things, material situations, material troubles in pessimistic way. Pessimistic means we feel little unfavorable or negative way. We don't give chance. Whereas spiritually we are optimistic. Even the worst situation, we devotees take it in a positive way to attempt. That is the way we devotees have to act. For example, this type of situation, now it's very common here also. We have to travel alone, we have to do so many things. And there are so many situations, but we cannot imitate great souls. We have to be a little careful. And we cannot yield to, we can easily become a victim. And Maharaj also mentioning, I thought I just give in. Because very tough to challenge such things. Then he was almost getting lost. Then at that moment, he was thinking two things. This is a way how we devotees also can come out of such circumstances. And when he doesn't bother about me. Anything hurting me, I don't mind. But at the same time, which can hurt the movement and Prabhupada, he was very, very serious. That thought comes in him in this particular moment. Because Prabhupada is with so much trust he has kept on us, on these young devotees. And how can I ruin that trust? How Prabhupada is so much, he is keeping a trust, and how can we ruin it? That one side, that thought flows in his mind. And doesn't matter whatever happens to me as an individual, it is not a problem. Whatever I ruin, my name is lost, I get to dustbin, no problem. But what about this movement? What about this Prabhupada's situation? What about his faith on me? That thought comes in. Similarly, every one of us in our life, we have to keep in mind that how much faith so many are keeping on us. How many of us has to fulfill their faith. As an individual, we can get no problem, out or rotten or anything. But as a society, as a member of the society, we are a representative of the society. And I remember sometime, some 10, 15 years back, I think 15 or not, that Radha here, Juhu only, that time meeting was there, we all joined the Radha. That morning announcement in Radha, they were telling the devotees were drinking cool drinks and other things in shops all over the way. I don't know, now still the announcement is going, I don't know. And the paper wala has covered all these things. See, the ISKCON devotees are drinking all these things and all these things, put in the newspaper. Previous year or something. This happened some 15, 20 years, I don't remember. Then the announcement in the morning after Mangalarti was, please don't drink such things. Because you are representing society where you are following strict principles. And you are violating as little relaxed. You are relaxed at 5%, people, others will relax 100%. And higher person, like a spiritual life, if you follow 100%, others will follow 5%. In material life, if you violate 5%, they will violate 100%. This is inversely proportional. Therefore, that announcement was very surprise. It's, after all, it's a cool drink or something, I don't know, Coca-Cola or something, whatever, I don't know. They are covered in the newspaper. That's why we are representing the society. Imagine for drinking a cool drink, if you are so much criticized, or to talk about all other things. Where the society, whoever comes here, we want to avoid all those things and have come here. And after coming here, why should we follow the same way things? This is a society where we are given a chance to follow what we want to avoid it. Here we need not to follow again and bring back the same thing. And this is the situation. Now we need to undergo, we are going much more, modern culture has brought much more test for our spiritual life. This is a test. Maharaj, those days very simple test. Nowadays more complicated tests are there. And how to come out? How to come out? Another point Maharaj is mentioning here. First point, he is thinking of the welfare of the Guru and the society. He tells the word, I thought I cannot hurt Srila Prabhupada like this. So even though for myself, I was ready in throw caution to the wind for the sake of Prabhupada, I could not. Then finally he is telling he got the Prabhupada's mercy. Then I could, how powerful Prabhupada's mercy was. Then I actually loved him more than I loved myself. This is the way we can advance. We do all the things and we behave all our actions for the sake of Prabhupada and Guru, then naturally will come out. We can come out of the situation. This gives a higher thought and higher taste, Parantashva, and higher feeling. Naturally, everybody, we are conditioned souls. We are not advanced souls. First, we have to take it, we are conditioned. Therefore, we need to take shelter. Guru and Krishna is the most merciful people to take shelter. Surrender. It's a way to surrender also. That's why Maharaj came out of this trouble, whistling. I was not prepared to do something that would hurt him. Srila Prabhupada invested so much trust and love in us, his young disciples, and gave us so much responsibility that we wanted to rise to the occasion and not disappoint. Rise to occasion means all the troubles you can come out. This is an easy way to come out of troubles. Take the shelter. When you are weak, you need somebody to support you and help you. We are always weak. Therefore, we take the shelter. And that is the one good thing this lesson gives, how one should take it. And in modern culture, we list casual about mixing. But modern science, it's not spiritual things. Modern science declares there are airborne hormones which can travel up to 5 meters. You know that all sensation feelings are, science-wise, it is due to hormones. But airborne hormones, the hormones can go along the air, not necessarily by physical approach or other things. These hormones will go up to 5 meters. That's why close proximity can cause all sorts of troubles and hormones will be activated and without your knowledge. Since we are in conditioned stage, body conscious state, mostly we are body conscious state. And we are not we are not in the realization of soul state. Even though we realize sometime we tell, but we are in body conscious. Simply somebody beats on my back, I get angry. If I am a soul, why should I get angry? It is my body, but I am getting disturbed. That means my body is conditioned. Still I am in body consciousness. Therefore the body reacts according to hormones 5 meters. That's a modern science. 5 meters is around 15, 16 feet. You should be careful. Therefore, close proximity can change the vibration of your thoughts, your mind, or situation. Why do you take risk? Prabhupada tells, always tell, why do you take risk? Keep out, that's what. And then, but modern culture, you need to go through essential things, but keep what is essential, you know. What is not essential also, you know, in your interaction. Therefore, keep yourself the justice or the decision maker of your action. That will help. Nothing is possible, take the shelter. That's all. Harinam and other things. And that this is the easy way, is the one portion. Thank you. Next is, I continue the reading. At the solicitor office, I was surprised to see how friendly Nair and Devanji were with each other. After all, I was Devanji's client, not Nair. Then Devanji advised me to pay more money to Nair, which at that stage was not required. And timid or simple as I was, I paid an additional rupees 7,500 rupees. When I informed Srila Prabhupada about the payment, he wrote, what is the rupees 7,500? Paid it to Nair. On what account that is paid? The rupees 7,500 paid to Mr. Nair is on account of final payment for the property. I replied. Mr. Devanji said, when you are paying lakhs, what is this? When I mentioned, I actually did not have to pay until the conveyance. The combination of Divanji friendliness with Nair and his cavalier attitude toward our unnecessarily paying Nair another rupees 7,500, a significant amount for us, should have alerted me to the fact that they were in cahoots, but I was too intimidated by the situation to formulate what to speak of express that idea. See, they took to solicitor, means lawyer, we call lawyer solicitor, lawyer's office. And the first thing Maharaj observed is Nair and Divanji is ISKCON lawyer. Nair is opposite party, but they are so close. That's why Maharaj is cohort. Cohort means they are getting along together for not in a positive and negative way, and not in a, he is supposed to our lawyer, he should support us, but he was supporting and like very cunningly they are working together. Things this happens in the legal term. Many times the lawyer you appoint will join other side and work for them. He will take payment from you also, from them also. And this is a very common factor in the legal things. And honestly, the lawyer is very integrity. That's why nowadays there is a course in the all professional colleges, legal, medical and engineering, professional ethics. Is for all these, because ethics is lost. They don't do any professional ethics. Doctor doesn't do ethics, these engineers or things, all professional courses, they have added a course in their curriculum, professional ethics, because the lawyer means he should stick to what is meant for ethics. He should stick to his client and help him. He has appointed him, but he joins other side and work. That is what happened. And that time, conveyance means the deed, sale deed is not completed. But some advance is paid, but the idea is they want to take more and more advance, so that when it is cancelled, the money will not be returned. Therefore, another 7,500. Those days, it's a huge amount. 7,500 is a huge amount. This is around 71, 72. That time, imagine the cost is so low. Bus tickets went up 10 paisa, 8 paisa like that. And paisa was there. That time 5 paisa, 2 paisa, 1 paisa and were there. Imagine now. That much cheap. And my education study and all those times, 20 rupees per month. In IIC and IIT. They are 20 rupees room rent, 20 per month. That's a cost. Means you can just imagine some quotes I am telling. That means 7,500 means the salary for gazetted officers. Government gazetted officer will get 700 to 800 rupees. That was the salary. You can get 5 kg rice for 1 rupee. Like that, so much, very cheap, and 7,500 huge amount. And somewhat Maharaj looks like his words. He is very intimidated, means very sensitive, very shy. It's like a shy type. Many times we devotees, we are very shy to tell, very shy to act. In this situation, we go along the way. When that Maharaj tells in the previous incident also, when the lady, he didn't want to sit next to the lady, but because of the situation, because of his shyness, intimidation, how to go but he was sitting. Here also, he knows this is not a good deal. He is very close to Nair and working together, but he has to pay 7,500. And how he convinced, anyway, you are going to pay in lakhs, that final payment. What is the loss in giving 7,500 advance? Like that, Mr. Divanji convinced Mr. Nair, sorry, Mr. Guru Maharaj, sorry, Maharaj. And therefore, in one of the cases where you have to be straight, you have to tell what is truth. And you cannot be so shy and at the cost of our society and our personal integrity, those things, when you are dealing in this type of material world or spiritual things, whichever is not favorable to Krishna consciousness or to our personal things, we should be very straightforward in telling, yes, no, I cannot do. Or another way is gentle ways, I'll consult my seniors and come back. That is the one thing I do many times. When such a situation, devotees get into that, they cannot deal directly. These devotees, they tell directly, they'll get angry with these people. What do you know about it? They shout, and all tricks they play and try to then. Only way is, I'll consult my committee. Committee means they don't know what is the committee. I remember in the construction time, some temples and all I was not. And that architect was so pressurizing. This is the way you should do. And architect, if you go to the architect, somebody do construction, they'll be the dominating more than structure engineer. They don't want any change what they do it. But if you tell, they'll be very upset. They'll drop it in the middle and go. We don't do anymore. I don't know now situation, this is 20 years back, that the architects are very powerful. Then how to handle, we don't know. Then finally we decided, we have a committee, the committee will decide and tell what is that. Then long time it went through that. Any suggestion we don't like, we tell committee it doesn't want it. It's a society, we are not individual. True, it is true also. We are not individual, we are society, we are working for all these things. This committee doesn't want them. Then finally one day they found, what society, you people are only doing the things what committee and all those. Anyway, that is too much later that we have found, they found it. Therefore, one of the thing is when you are getting entering to such a situation, embarrassing situation financially or other things, you can tell like this. And even simple thing like a food or something, somebody calls you to take it, you can request, this is today's fasting, today's my stomach is bad, or something you can escape. Instead of hurting them directly, great souls, we don't eat anything, and like that they will be hurt. Instead of that, you can give me some water, give me some fruits, like that you can take it. That's a way we need to know how to tackle the situation. We should not yield to the situation. It's called yield to situation. Because of your shyness, because of your intimidation, you generally be yield to that. And this will ultimately will kill our devotional situation. And our regular dependence will be slowly degraded. And we will not be knowing also. And it will harm the society, will harm the movement, will harm not ourselves. Like Maharaj told, all of us are very genuine in, we don't bother about our personal care. But we have to care for the society's name, society things. And people are looking for such a small things. I told in the Radha drinking cool drinks, they take cover and put it, they want to see, test it. And nowadays people doesn't want any lectures, don't give lectures. They want how do you act. They are very intelligent. They are looking at what you say, not what you say. They are looking at what you do. How do you behave? How are you acting? Therefore, our action will tell all these things, not the words. Therefore, we have to be careful in our actions also. This is the second portion. I'll continue some more reading. One of the conditions for the purchase of the land was that we obtain permission from the charity commissioner. We remember still we are charity commissioner officer, everything we go to register, all the properties. And the charity commissioner officer so much that we didn't register one of the property in charity commissioner officer. That's why we are spending in court for 20 years more than heavy amount. Therefore, anything we have register, proper register the society under Mumbai Charitable Act in the Charity Commission Officer. He is in charge. As stated in class 11 of the sales agreement, if the Charity Commissioner does not grant the and set consent means deed, then the agreement will stand terminated and the vendors are returned to the purchaser the earnest money without interest cost or any other compensation, loss or damages. The first time I visited the Charity Commissioner office, I was astonished to by how little work was being done. The commissioner had a private chamber and the rest of the staff sat on a desk in a large open room, but I hardly see anybody doing anything. Mainly the staff was sipping tea, reading the newspaper, or distracting themselves in other ways. I thought of Prabhupada's statement that when it came to materially advancement, Indians were lazy. But that when it came to spiritual emancipation, they could make tremendous sacrifice and go to great lengths. I came to learn that inefficiency was selective. If an officer wanted to help someone, they could be very efficient. But in our case, they showed no interest. Eventually, I came to suspect that Nair had his hand in the matter and began to see a pattern in his agreement with the previous potential buyer of the same land we are now in the process of buying. Yes, Shankhadhari and brothers, Nair had made a condition that the purchaser obtain permission from the Bombay municipality to subdivide the plot and then had used his influence and perhaps money to make sure that permission was not granted. Then he had claimed that he had grounds to cancel the agreement. And after the cancellation, he had kept the purchaser's earnest money. In our case, he had embedded in a condition in the agreement that we obtain permission from the charity commissioner. And even if the permission was not denied, if it was delayed past the 6-month deadline for the execution of the agreement, the sale shall be completed within a period of 6 months from the date hereof or within 3 months from the date hereof. The time fixed for completion of sale as sanctioned above shall be the essence of the contract. He could say that we had failed to meet our terms of the agreement in time, cancel the agreement and keep our money. But although that may have been his plan, he still faced the obstacle of removing us and the deities from the property. These are more technical things. Actually, this is professionally how the land things lords will cheat. First, previously he has made agreement with one of the potential buyer, and that agreement he has made, you should get from a, for example, if you get a big land, you need a permission to subdivide it into flats. That generally the real estate people, they purchase a big land and divide it. And for dividing that, you need permission of corporation. Unless the corporation, it is not approved flat. And this was the condition, they should take it. He took money, earnest money means advance money. Lot of money he has paid that previous person. But since he could not get in time that municipality permission, he cancelled the agreement. It was cancelled automatic. That was the agreement. But the agreement, he has to pay back the money, what advance he took, but he didn't pay it. Same trick he was applying to ISKCON also. And he wanted to, this time the condition is different. You should take charity commissioner permission. And the time is limited, 6 months. But he could not do it within 6 months. Therefore, if he cannot do 6 months, it automatically got cancelled. They are all very tricky things. It goes in the things. I remember one of the land we wanted to purchase in one place. And it was both east and west side. It's a big thing to 1 acre in city land. 1 acre we wanted to take 17-80 cents. And first when we went to the owner, he's a gentleman, looks very gentle. He told I wanted to take in the western side. But he told to take it in the eastern side. I didn't understand. Then he took in the eastern side. It's like around 7,000 square feet. It's a very costly, the city lands. And finally, next to somebody came to purchase on the western side. adjacent side. And this owner was telling, he didn't tell anything. They were about to pay the big advance. They paid advance 5 lakhs also. Those days I'm telling 30 years, 25 years back. Then when we really went to measure the land, somebody was coming and checking, oh, why are you measuring this land? This we have paid advance. We have paid 20 lakhs rupees advance. And we told, owner never told us. He has taken advance from us also. Then we went and checked the things. That person has sold the advance agreement. But that many what is that? We countered the owner. What is this? You have put this 6 months advance to somebody else and you have paid advance. And now you have taken advance from also. What is that thing? He told, no, he didn't pay within 6 months. That agreement is for 6 months. He didn't pay, now it's automatically invalid. But still he can fight in the court to tell, my mind is not good, I was sick, I was in a hospital. So many things, legal loopholes are there. They can apply, then we cannot afford it. Then final settlement is that we called that advance, pay the advance back and settle the land. This is very common factor. That's why every land we purchase, we have to undergo legal verification. Even that legal clearance by the lawyer cannot be 100% complete. Because lawyers sit in the table, what documents you give, they work on it. But you got to go to registrar office also to see encumbrance certificate, EC. They call EC. The EC should be clear. They might have taken mortgage the land to somebody else. And they might have taken some money from the land. And if they have mortgage, for example, you take a loan of 5 lakh from the land which is to be sold. And that land, unless it is registered, the loan, it will not come into the registrar office. And it will not be registered, it will show in encumbrance. This land, somebody has taken a loan. Like that, these technical details are very Kali Yuga. You have to take very, very careful. Something will be, documents will be, you have to go through parent document. Parent document to this purpose. There may be a lot of complication will be there. And so because I am dealing for 20 years in the bureau or something, all these things is a very tough job we have to go through. Sometimes devotees will be very upset. What is this? Is very urgent, very urgent. Whenever you go, this land brokers will tell, this is 10 people are around for this land. Now immediately finish, immediately finish. And so that we have to be very, very careful to fix the land. Later we cannot fight in the court. And somewhat you see that the whole situation is, Maharaj has to fight most of the time in the court. And the land situation when you are buying, this is the situation, sale. What are the tricks in the sales? Maharaj has not understood those days. Maharaj has, those days also we found how the pattern, Maharaj is telling the pattern. This is takes some huge advance and the deed, some agreement. In the mood of getting the land, everybody sign immediately. And when that comes, finally, in the actual deed, they will take the money, they will not pay the money back, and the deed is cancelled, we lost the money, advance money also. And therefore, that legal deed, we have to be very careful and purchase land and all those things. This is for proper sake, everybody we are struggling and all those things. And I think I can stop here. And it's actually very inspiring things to be doing, and in particularly, Radha Raspari is very merciful to me. I think 1990 or something, 91 I think, I came here first time. The time I was working, I came for my ISO 9000 certificate by British Standard Institute to Mumbai. That time, I took Radha Raspari picture and started worshipping. And within 1 year, I joined full time. And the same picture I kept in the altar 5 years of worship. No deities, nothing. In the small action centers in South Madurai. Then by mercy, the land came. And devotees, only myself, my wife, both of us went. Nobody was there. New place, new things, and their mercy temple came. Then devotees joined and all those things. They took the Radha Raspari picture to another place near Tirunelveli. Then they kept that and started worshipping. There another big temple came, all city temples, like huge city temples. Now they are being worshipped in the second temple. Therefore I have very somewhat other Ashpari special mercies, we have got the temple still. Anywhere they go, they'll build the temple because they are so powerful. And I found in my own life 2 temples were built by keeping only their pictures, nothing else. Governor pictures and these things. That's a simple pictures. And therefore they are very powerfully, they are, sanctioning and mercifully they are doing. And like now I feel here in Mumbai also they should make hundreds of temples. Quickly they will make it. And a lot of devotees also will make it. And never I had a financial problem with constructing temple or something. Each maybe those days, 20 years back, 5 crores or something like that. It's a small city. Bombay it's nothing. But small city is a big amount. I never went for a collection or something. It came automatic. And somewhat they are very merciful. I remember that measure of things. And also another point I tell is, construction is easier, destruction is also easier, but maintenance is tough. That's why even the whole universe, construction is by Brahma, destruction is by Shiva, but maintenance by Lord Vishnu. Therefore, the great souls, many are maintaining here for a long time. And maintaining this thing is much more trouble. And we should understand the trouble of maintenance also. We are reading the construction portion. We have to understand the maintenance portion also, how to maintain. Maintain means not building, spiritual vibration, and also the sanctity, and everything should be properly maintained. And the devotees, and their hearts, visiting people, what else? Everybody has to be taken care in a Vaishnava way. Dealing material world is easy. It's like a cutthroat. You are wrong, get out. But in spiritual world, you cannot do it. You give as much as possible your compassion and care and other things. Therefore, this maintenance is a long-term things. Like so many souls, you are all here, senior devotees, so many are doing such a service, has done services. I personally thank them also for doing such a great service, continuing what Giraj Maharaj has invested to continue the things. And all of you should support and give your energy. And at least if you don't support also, don't give them trouble. That will be great things. That way, ISKCON will flourish faster in a better way. Now our energy is spent mostly in tackling negative things, not used in positive preaching. Therefore, our negative things we are tackling, I remember many times in the meetings, they are talking about bureau meetings or something. We are struggling with how to counter the negative things, how to correct the problems, not the positive way of looking after how many temples we can explore, how much preaching we can explore. That portion is very little, negligible. This is therefore, here every temple, they have own struggle to manage all sorts of people in a Vaishnava way. And all of us should help us, each other. And at the same time, even if we don't help, at least you should not be the cause of the trouble. That's a great help to whole society. Like Maharaj told, I don't bother about myself, but I bother about Prabhupada, I bother about society. Same way, let us work together and help the situation up. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vadagiri Prabhu, any comments? Vadagiri Prabhu.
So, he mentioned about devotees' behavior in public. It should be very exemplary, because we did very nice, wonderful Rath Yatra. So many people and attended that time, that Coca-Cola incident. So one devotee, because people in Bombay, they give so many things to drink and eat. So some people, they gave Coca-Cola. So one devotee just went and near Amitabh Bachchan, have 10th Road, and he drank in front of everybody. So one Times of India, one person took photograph And next day, first page, it came. Whatever best thing you do, everything will just within a minute, everything will destroy.
Nowadays, much more faster.
Because of our smartphone, WhatsApp, any little incident happen in America, all over the world, it will go. And another thing you mentioned, when you are in a position, you have to do your service for the satisfaction of Srila Prabhupada and for the deities. So, one incident I can mention, in our present Gurukul, where our ashram is there, that is actually municipality approved for 4-storied building. But our devotees, they spoke to the officer, they told that you make 6-storied building and it will be approved, gradually will be approved, but never approved. And when we started our Gurukul, they didn't supply water, many things, so much problems. But finally, because of our mistake, small mistake, all those things happen. But when we did the Heaven and Earth project, we made these 3 buildings, like the temple building, Heaven and Earth project and the Gurukul. We made it 3 building in one, 3 in 1. So we have sufficient FSI, so we adjusted everything. Now the entire Hare Krsna land is perfectly all right. Otherwise, municipality and other people, they will always give problem. We saw many times municipality, they came and our Prasadam hall, they completely destroyed, they demolished. So all those things, if you just very sincerely do your service, spiritually and materially, then we can manage very nicely, there will be no burden. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, any comment? Anybody comments anything? Yes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.